Krishna, dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are continuing with our Srimad Bhagavatam. And before that, happy Akshay Tritiya for all of you and happy Chandan Yatra. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, are we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam today? Yes. Thank you so much. So we are doing second canto, 7th chapter, verse number 26. I'll share my screen again. Yes, Maharaj, 1 second. Yeah. Yes, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhuma Satretara Varuta Vimadidhatya. Klesha Vayvaya. Kalaya Sita Krishna Kesaha. Jata Karisyati Jananupalaksha Marga. Karmani Chatma Mahimo Panina Bandhanani. When the world is overburdened by the fighting strength of kings who have no faith in God, the Lord, just to diminish the distress of the world, descends in his plenary portion. The Lord comes as an original form with beautiful black hair, and just to expand his transcendental glories, he acts extraordinarily. No one can properly estimate how great he is. This verse especially describes the appearance of Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion, Lord Baladev. Both Lord Krishna and Lord Baladev are one supreme personality of Godhead. Haribo? And John, are you there, John?
Yes, Maharaj, he's there. John Prabhu?
John, are you there?
Hare Krishna, John Prabhu?
Tell him to unmute.
Yeah, you can unmute. Please unmute, Prabhuji. It's not coming.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo, yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath. I was wondering if you could read the purport. Start from the beginning again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go ahead. Where it says this verse.
This verse is especially describing the appearance of Lord Krishna and his immediate expansion. Lord Baladev, Lord Baladev, both Lord Krishna and Lord Baladev are one supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord is omnipotent, and he expands himself in innumerable forms and energies. And the whole unit is known as the one supreme Brahman. Such extensions of the Lord are divided into two divisions, namely personal and differential. The personal expansions are called the Vishnu Tattvas, and the differential expansions are called the Jiva Tattvas. And in such expansional activity, Lord Baladev is the first personal expansion of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Vishnu Purana, as well as in the Mahabharata, both Krishna and Baladev are mentioned as having beautiful black hair, even in their advanced age. The Lord is called Anupalaksha Marga, or in still more technical Vedic terms, Avan Manasa Gochara, one who is never to be seen or realized by the limited sense perception of the people in general. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.25, it is said by the Lord, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samarvrita. In other words, he reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. Only the bona fide devotees can know him by his specific symptoms. And out of many, many such symptoms, one symptom is mentioned here in this verse, that the Lord is Sita Krishna Kesha, or one who is observed always with beautiful black hair. Both Lord Krishna and Lord Baladev have such hair on their heads, as thus even in advanced age, they appeared like young boys, 16 years old. That is the particular symptom of the personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that although he is the oldest personality among all living entities, he always looks like a new, youthful boy. That is the characteristic of a spiritual body. The material body is symptomized by birth, death, old age, and diseases. But the spiritual body is conspicuous by the absence of those symptoms. Living entities who reside in the Vaikuntha Lokas, in eternal life and bliss, have the same type of spiritual body without being affected by any signs of old age. It is described in the Bhagavatam, Canto 6, that the party of Vishnudutas who come to deliver Ajamila from the clutches of the party of Yamaraj appeared like youthful boys, corroborating the description in this verse. It is ascertained thus that the spiritual bodies in the Vaikuntha Lokas, either of the Lord or of the other inhabitants, are completely distinct from the material bodies of this world. Therefore, when the Lord descends from that world to this world, he descends in his spiritual body of Atma Maya, or internal potency, without any touch of Bahiranga Maya, or external material energy. The allegation that the impersonal Brahman appears in this material world by accepting a material body is quite absurd. Therefore, the Lord, when he comes here, has not a material body, but a spiritual body. The impersonal Brahma Jyoti is only the glaring effulgence of the body of the Lord. And there is no difference in quality between the body of the Lord and the impersonal ray of the Lord, called Brahma Jyoti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is why the Lord, who is omnipotent, comes here to diminish the burden created upon the world by the unscrupulous kingly order. Certainly, the Lord does not need to come here personally for such purposes, but he actually descends to exhibit his transcendental activities in order to encourage his pure devotees who want to enjoy life by chanting the glories of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:13-14, it is stated that the Mahatmas, great devotees of the Lord, take pleasure in chanting of the activities of the Lord. All the Vedic literatures are meant for turning one's attention towards the Lord and his transcendental activities. Thus, the activities of the Lord in his dealings with worldly people create a subject matter for discussion by his pure devotees.
Thank you. Omagyanti Mirandasya Ganajana Salakaya Saksam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakopa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Paebacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Unless one consults the revealed scriptures, one cannot understand actually what is the form of the Lord. People conjecturize, or what we say, what's the word? Put a prototype type of form implanted upon the conception of God based on the worldly experiences they understand. God is a very strong personality because he has to hold up all of the universes. So they caricature him as a big type of muscle man who looks like he just worked out in Gold's Gym for the last one millennium. And then you have the idea that God is an old man, because obviously he's the oldest person. So he's depicted as an aged personality who is rising above everyone and sits there and just gives everyone the results of the activities by sending some to heaven and some to hell. He's not very much more than that. So all of these ideas, caricatures, or you might say impressions that people present as God don't even come close to understanding what is the real nature of God. In this world, what are the desirable things that people like? One is considered, if you are young, that means you're in the prime of your life. Your life is ahead of you, and you have all energies of the youth, and you can fulfill your desires to achieve happiness in so many different ways. So youth is eulogized as being the best part of life. So therefore, why is it like that? Because God is ever youthful. You see, as it's explained, he never ages beyond 16 years of age. As it says here, people think he is an old man, but still he retains all of the characteristics of youth, such as beautiful blackish hair. His hair doesn't get gray, or he doesn't have to dye his hair in order to look good for everybody else. Um, and he's very youthful in looks, and his body is very beautiful. So people want to be beautiful. They want to be youthful. They want to be uh, strong. All of these characteristics are there because what we want is a reflection of the reality of the spiritual existence. Even the soul, as is mentioned here, there is the Atma-maya, or there is the living entities who are parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And the characteristics of the living entities are also very aligned with the characteristics of the Lord. I think we were mentioning this just recently. This series of verses seems to herald that particular subject as being the main subject, that the living entities are almost on the same level as God in looks and in qualities also. Of course, there is Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananyanam, that and of course all living entities are also eternal, but the source of the eternals are the one eternal. He is Nityo, the source of all the other eternals. So God is the source, and he is the composite of all of the qualities and all of the, what we say, the desires that the living entity has for success in this world. But and therefore, when we look at when we sort of characterize God in so many ways, we see him in the same way that we are as we evolve through different stages of life, and therefore it's just some imagination, that's all. So, but the living entity is also powerful because the living entity is part of God. And therefore, we are separate from what we are described as in terms of our bodily designations and the connections that the body has with other forms in this material world, such as our society, our community, our family members, and other living entities who are connected to us by our body. And we sort of describe our relationship or our identity with, just like if someone asks you who you are, you give them your name, you tell them where you're from, you might tell them about a little bit about yourself, but it's all related to the body, which means none of it's true. It's just an adopted identity that comes by way of having a material body and living in a world of material energy, or everything which is constantly in flux, always moving, changing. So the descriptions of God here are very wonderful. And if you go deeper into the topic, you'll find that everything about Krishna's transcendental form is outstandingly perfect in all aspects of a describable perfection. His perfection is undescribable because it's beyond the range of our senses and mind. We cannot imagine how beautiful he is. We make a comparison. We say, well, he's like a monsoon rain cloud, which is dark, but the cloud also has some bluish color in it because the sky is behind the cloud. So the bluish tinge of the sky comes through the cloud, and the cloud looks blackish blue. So that is an attempt to give a material understanding of the color of God, but it's not like that. It's just an attempt. We compare his body to lotuses, to moons, various types of beautiful things in this world, but they're only comparisons just for the sake of a little understanding. But beyond that, his qualities are super excellent and beyond description, and can only be understood when one, or experienced when one actually comes in contact with God directly. And that comes when one actually leaves this material world and goes back to the spiritual world. Otherwise, we fall short of understanding. But if we read, especially the works of the Goswamis, they describe the beauty of the Lord and the beauty of the Lord's devotees also. And even beyond the beauty of the Lord is the beauty of Radharani, which is even greater than the beauty of Krishna, as described in the scriptures, because Krishna is enamored by his own beauty, but Krishna loses all sense of anything. He becomes completely overcome by the beauty of Radharani, and he even can't even function normally when he comes in contact with her beauty, which is what we say not even imaginable. Even the poets can't write anything. Although the acharyas try to describe it in words, the words always are just simply what they are. They're words. They fall short. But when we read these words, the mind becomes charmed when we hear about the qualities of the Lord and his internal energy, Srimati Radharani. So these things inspire us to become free from this entanglement of material energy and want to leave this tabernacle of material difficulties and again attain to our real place in the spiritual world. So when we hear about the beauty of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna and with his devotees in different ways, with his friends, with his girlfriends, with his parents, with people in general, it is an impetus to want to again attain to our spiritual. We should hear more and more about the Lord. And not only is it an impetus, it attracts us to the Lord. And then by that attraction, we lose our attraction to this material world, which is pale. But the attraction to this material world is simply the movement of the material energy in different features. Of course, material energy is also Krishna, so it has a certain beauty of its own, but within its own category of beauty. It cannot reach to the category of real beauty, which is spiritual beauty, which is in the realm of spiritual world, or in the realm of the residents of the spiritual world. So hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord awaken our attraction for the Lord, and hearing about his transcendental forms. Therefore, the scriptures, many of the Goswamis, especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jayadev Goswami, Jiva Goswami, especially Rupa Goswami, especially Raghunath Das Goswami, they describe the pastimes of the Lord in the spiritual world as they manifest. Where do they get such knowledge? They get it from their pure devotion. And when they are in the consciousness of pure devotion, the Lord dictates to them what is he like, and what is his activities, and all of the details of his activities. So they enter into a vision of seeing the Lord in his play activities in the spiritual world simply by their pure devotion, because Krishna is telling them directly, not just through the heart, but directly, what he's like and what he does and what his activities are in detail. So that is, it's almost like watching a movie. When you watch the movie, you can see what's on the screen and you can repeat it to your friends and others. So in the same way, they actually enter into the pastimes. They see these things in their trance of devotion, inspired by the presence of the Lord in the heart, who dictates to them what is he like that. So when we read these books, we should not think they're just some imagination or some nice poetic expression to enchant our minds. Actually, no, these are the realities that come from the realizations of the great souls. And that is we might say, the highest level of spiritual attainment that one can achieve in the material world. So when we read these books, we have Rupa Goswami, who has written so many books. Jiva Goswami has written 400,000 verses describing the philosophy, tattva, and lila of Krishna, and some of the more select activities of the Lord in his personal relationships with his internal devotees, or his devotees in Vrindavan, are given mostly by Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami. These two have, because they're realizing who they are in the spiritual world, and they're also meditating on that service as they write these different pastimes. So we can actually get a vision into Krishna, and not some anthropomorphic or some mythological expression of happiness that sometimes people label these activities, because they don't understand the principle of transcendence. And therefore, they simply speculate that this is nice poetry, but that's about all. No, it's actually reality come down to the level of us, so we can again aspire to associate with and become one of Krishna's associates in the spiritual world, which is actually the goal of Krishna consciousness, to again associate with the Lord in pure spiritual activities. That means those activities that are free from any inebrities that make up the material world, and are always what we say, rasavaisai. Rasavaisai means they're full of relationships that are full of sweetness. And it's very, very sweet. Everything about Krishna is sweet. Even when he acts in a less sweet way, it's still sweet, because when it comes from him, it charms the heart and attracts the mind. So if we haven't developed attraction for Krishna's pastimes or Krishna's activities or even Krishna's names, the formula is to enunciate these activities, make it a feature of one's activity to hear more, to read more. And as you do that, your own spiritual consciousness will start surfacing. And then you'll understand that these things are actually non-different than your nature because they actually illustrate you as a pure spiritual being. You go beyond the bodily conception of life. So, satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ridkarna rasayana kata. Rasayana means sweet, nectar, an ambrosio, nectarine, an ocean that is flowing with sweet, sweet, sweet waves of happiness. This is Krishna's spiritual world, and he's inviting us to come. But we're a little bit reluctant to come because we think, just like when Prabhupada was writing, and before he came to America, he wrote one book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So one gentleman read that book and he became very attracted to it, and he met Prabhupada. He said, "Oh, we can go to other planets?" "Yes, you can. Yes." "Okay, I would like to go. How do I go?" Well, then he was explaining it. Oh, he said, "But I want to come back after I visit there." Prabhupada said, "You want to come back?" That means you're not interested in going. It's not we don't go to the spiritual world just to visit. It's not a place for visiting. There are places in this world that are designated for visiting, but in that world, that is a world of eternality where everything is constantly existing in pure spiritual nectar. And so it's available if we go for it, and that's the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He made it quite easy, which this what we're talking about are the achievements of the spiritual world, especially Goloka Vrindavan, is impossible to achieve. But because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy, because of Lord Chaitanya being in the mood of his pure devotee, Srimati Radharani, he's opened the door to this unlimited spiritual oasis. And he's made it easier. All we have to do is hear and chant the glories of the Lord and serve and associate with devotees. This is the essence of the qualifications that allow us to achieve this realm that is way beyond this material world. If you were to travel by spaceship and you wanted to go to the spiritual world, it says if you travel for 40 billion years at the speed of the mind, now you can understand how fast the mind is. For instance, you're sitting here in one place. Now you bring your mind to another place in the world. And that means you actually traveled that much by mental speed. Say you're sitting in the United States and you think of India, then you're in India, at least mentally. So that's the speed of the mind. So if you take that speed and you take it for 40 billion years, you still can't reach the spiritual world. It's way beyond this place. There is no measurement for its distance. It's not possible. So the acharyas give us the measurements in terms of the rapidity of the mind speed in a long period of time. But still, it becomes. But by the grace of the pure devotee and by the grace of the Lord, we can achieve that place instantaneously. It says that one is a pure devotee and they fall asleep and they die in their sleep. When they wake up, they're no longer in their bed in the material world, they're in the spiritual world with Krishna. It's like instantaneous. And you leave this place, it's not even measurable by time. You might say, what is the smallest measurement of time? we have seconds, and then we have milliseconds, and then we divide the seconds into even 10 parts, 1/10 of a second, or even 1/11 of a second. They talk about Lavamutta is 1/11 of a second. So it's even faster than that, that one leaves this world and go back to the spiritual world. That's the grace of Lord Chaitanya. If we take this opportunity to hear and chant the glories of the Lord as much as we can and associate with and serve Vaishnavas, the whole process becomes quick, easy, and very, very pleasant. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful class. Yeah. Dear devotees, please turn on your cameras if possible. And please raise your hand if you have any questions or comments. Shivakumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Maharaj, one question I had, Maharaj. We understand Krishna appears in this world. His form is spiritual, although the form appears to be a human form. So I'm finding it difficult, Maharaj, as to how do we understand what the spiritual body is made up of, Maharaj, because our experience here is it is made up of the 5 elements, Maharaj.
Yeah,
But
but
in
you can't simply understand Krishna's body by sense perception. Sense perception is living. Therefore, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in 2 places, he says, Ham prakashya sarvasya yogamaya samabhutaha mudo yo avajananti. Can't remember the last line. Turn to chapter, I think it's chapter 7, verse number 25. 725.
Yes, Maharaj.
It's interesting. Naham prakashya sarvasya yogamaya samanvitaha mudo yo avajanati lokoyam avayam. Yeah. Read the translation.
I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. You want me to read the purport too, Maharaj?
Well, when Krishna was present, there was only few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not reveal himself. So most people who saw Krishna saw him as just a powerful personality. Therefore, there's a class of philosophers who think that Krishna, when he comes, he adopts a material body. But he says he doesn't. His body is transcendental. There's another verse which is even more explicit, also spoken by Krishna. I think it's in the 9th chapter. Avajanti mam mudham manusim kananasvatam padam bhava ajananto mamavuta baheshvara. I'm not sure what verse it is. Keep going down the page.
9:11.
Number 11?
11.
Yeah, there you go. Again, he uses the word fools. Twice he uses it.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
Yeah. So he says here, there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely a powerful man and nothing more. So therefore they designate his body as something material. And that's just to befool the materialist. His body is always transcendental. It's not part of this material energy. But when he plays the role as a human, he may act in that way. And it may also show symptoms. Like when Lord Nityananda was hit in the head with a clay pot by Mud-Eye, his head started to bleed. So you might think, oh, that's blood, that's material, and that shows his body is like ours. No. Krishna was shot in the foot by an arrow by a hunter, and supposedly he died. But that was just a show to keep the atheist mentality intact. He wasn't trying to prove who he was. You can only know Krishna by devotional service. He doesn't try to show some miracles to convince you. That's not his program. If you want to know him as he is, then you have to engage in his service, and then everything becomes revealed. Therefore, devotees that can accept that Krishna's body is transcendental, it's not part of this material world, because they realize that through their own devotional activities. So, yeah, there are many other verses in the Bhagavatam that speak the same thing that Krishna is speaking. This is Krishna speaking directly here about himself. So to understand God means to engage in his devotional service. Those who don't do that, they will conjecture, guess, and speculate about what is God, what is God's nature, like that. If God is within our purview of understanding, then what is the question of greatness if he can be understood by us? He's way beyond us. And therefore, one of the terminologies that applies to God is achintya. He's inconceivable. But we learn of we learn of him through the scriptures, through the spiritual master, through our realizations in devotional service. Not through somebody's idea, or description. Scholars like to write books, poets like to imagine what God is like through some poetic eulogies. No. All of these things are just nice from the material perspective, but they fall short of describing anything about the nature of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, we have to take shelter of authority.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Prabhupada would always use a very simple, easy example. You've never seen your father, and how do you want to find out who your father is? So you go to your mother and you ask her, and she tells you. So the mother becomes the authority to reveal who is father. So scriptures sometimes are analogous to our mother. They teach us about God.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Are you convinced?
Yes. Convinced.
Okay. Don't get fooled by these materialists who like to relegate God to the material level.
Yes.
Okay. John Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your class. It's mind-blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's our program, to blow everybody's mind. But blow it into a higher realm of existence. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you very much for the opportunity to do some service by reading the purport. That was really nice. Yeah, I just want to say thank you as well, because yesterday your class really moved me. It moved me to tears, actually. That's what I didn't ask a question live, because yesterday's class really spoke to me, and I was I was actually in tears because it was so moving. So I couldn't actually press.
Mhm. I was just trying to return the favor because you moved me to tears with that dramatic performance
Uh,
in France. So a little attempt to reciprocate.
uh, thank you, Maharaj. I I'm sorry, I'm maybe speaking a bit selfishly and a bit personally, but I really actually really needed that class yesterday, so it really really helped. But my question today is, early on in our Krishna consciousness, we may have experiences which affirm to us our realizations of God, of Krishna, and we're hearing here that these some of these concepts which are like way beyond, and I'm just wondering what weight our experiences have early on in our Krishna consciousness. Like, how much do we value those, and how do we also stop ourselves from getting too proud of those experiences? If that makes sense. I'm not sure I'm making sense. Sorry, Maharaj, but
The question is, we're learning about Krishna and we have certain conceptions, but then as we continue, these conceptions evolve to a higher and higher level. And our previous conceptions still remain some within our minds. Is that it?
yes, Maharaj. Yeah, I'm just wondering how much value do we place on some of the early experiences? We might have dreams, or we might have like realizations through japa or in kirtan, or like how much weight do we place on those experiences, if that makes sense?
Experiences can come at any time for anyone. Even non-devotees can get experiences. So we don't put too much weight on these things
Right.
because God at any time can give anyone at any place, in any situation, an experience or allow that person to have an experience. And it also mentions, just to illustrate this point, that even a brand new person who comes to Krishna consciousness can experience ecstatic symptoms.
Mm.
And so, but we don't determine our advancement or even our spiritual qualities on experiences. We consider them simply graces of the Lord, that's all.
Right. Okay.
Our actual experiences is the essence of our spiritual purification. How much we've actually purified ourselves through the process of bhakti in our execution of bhakti, where we start to actually become naturally attracted to spiritual activities and more naturally averse to material activities.
Right. Okay.
That is the actual barometer.
Right.
Prabhupada would use the example, when the body is in fever, that means the body is diseased. So how do you tell when the body is getting cured when the fever goes down? So material life is like a disease because it's a disease covering the soul's actual experience of healthy, happy life. So as that disease starts to mitigate through the process of bhakti, we're starting to experience our own healthy nature, which is our spiritual consciousness. And so it's a process that keeps spiraling upward as we continue in those activities. And the experiences we have, we can simply thank God for that special mercy, but they're not the evidence or the evidence of our spiritual advancement.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. The thing is, when the mind is in the right mood and you come in contact with the spiritual energy, these things happen. It depends on the situation of the mind at the time. And sometimes when the mind is free from all pretense and is simply open to whatever is experiencing, then when it comes to that situation, the experience automatically happens because the mind is in the right place. But that doesn't indicate we're more advanced. That's all. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. To
So,
take them, use them, appreciate them, thank God for them, and but stay engaged in the process. That's the real barometer for one's spiritual uh, understanding, how much we are purifying ourselves through the process of bhakti.
okay, that's something I need to work on.
Oh, well, that's the process for everybody. Another indication for our spiritual development is the qualities that make up the mode of goodness, which are conducive to the practice of spiritual life. As these qualities develop, these are indications we're making progress also. And those qualities are mentioned in the Shastra. Mhm.
So, Maharaj, where do we balance our desire to want to have these experiences and want to see Krishna and want to see, these
Well,
four?
yeah, it's nice to have that, but that will not really make a difference because it shows you're eager in the right way, but to actually have that experience is not coming simply by that desire.
Okay.
You have to have in other words, you may have a desire to see a very important person, but if you're not qualified to meet that person, it'll never happen.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just as an analogy. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati would say, don't try to see Krishna, but try to act in such a way that Krishna wants to see you.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
So we want to present ourselves to Krishna as something that he's eager to, uh, you know, uh, want to see. In other words, sometimes we take darshan in front of the deities. So we say that darshan means to visualize the form of the Lord. But actually, darshan doesn't mean that at all. Darshan means to present yourself in front of the Lord where the Lord wants to see you. So the word darshan is broken up into etymological terms such as drishtya, and drashya, one who is seeing and one who is being seen. So actually, one who is seeing is Krishna, one who is being seen is us. We can't see Krishna. Well, we want to, but we're not qualified. Therefore, as we become qualified through the process of bhakti. Then when you actually see Krishna, you won't stand there. You'll lose consciousness. You won't be able to understand. You'll actually see him at that time. And then you no longer can keep that consciousness, so you'll just lose it. He is way beyond anything imaginable. So,
Thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank
yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Nice questions.
Yes.
I
Thank
hope
you.
it gives you some hope.
you. Yeah. Oh,
It's not meant to discourage you.
no, that's really nice. Actually, it's very humbling and very, yeah. Yeah.
Today I was listening to Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, so many lives you've been in this material world. All right, so just now this one life, just give it to Krishna, that's all.
Okay.
Just this one life. You had so many for your own self, and how many births? Give this one life to Krishna, that's all.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much.
Hare
Divya
Krishna.
Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept
Ah,
my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, as you mentioned about the adopted identity, and we have seen that whenever we introduce ourselves to someone, we use that, that material and identity, and we sometimes try to hide our anathas as well under that adopted identity. So, what is the right way how we can detangle ourselves from this material identity and start taking the shelter of spiritual identity?
Well, in ordinary parlance, in this material world, we play the game. But we should know, just so I could give you an example, when there was a famous playwright, his name was John Barrymore. You remember him, John? John Barrymore? Remember
Sorry.
John Barrymore?
Yeah, I've heard of John Barrymore. Yes, Maharaj.
He was a famous playwright. And he would always take a part in his own plays. And he would play a particular role in one of his conducted plays. Well, at the end of the play, he would reveal himself as John Barrymore. So he was famous for also not only creating dramatic performances, but taking part in the dramas also. So we're in a drama. You're playing a role as a lady. You're playing the role as an Indian lady somewhere in the UK, I think.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
It's all a play. It's just a play. But you're not any of this. You are pure spiritual energy who belongs with Krishna in loving devotional service. So the reality of our identity is awakened through the process of bhakti, which helps us to understand more and more who we are and what is our purpose in life. We play the material role, but it's just a play, that's all. Because we have to play the role while we're here, at least to a certain degree. That's all. You just have to be a good actress. That's all. You have to play your part, but at the same time you have to know what is your real identity aside from that part you're playing. Are you somebody's wife? Are you somebody's daughter? Are you somebody's sister? These are all roles. Ultimately we are Jiver Surupai Krishna Ner. We're pure spiritual energy, part and parcel of Krishna. We've come to this world, and as the famous Shakespeare would say, all the world is a stage. Everyone's playing a role. Nobody knows who they are. They're just going along with the dramatic performance. Sometimes it's a satire. Sometimes it's what is the opposite of satire? Uh, uh, you see the two faces of a mask in the dramatic, a smiling face and a sad face. What is it, a satire or what's the other side?
Drama and comedy, Maharaj.
There's another name for it. It's a dramatic name. Satire or can't remember. Yeah, so we're playing these roles. So when you're with the
Solemnity, Guru Maharaj?
huh?
Is it solemnity? Satire or solemnity?
No,
Flattery?
it's something that is negative, sad.
Sarcasm.
Tragedy.
Huh?
Tragedy.
Yeah, that's it. True satire or a tragedy. Like, these are the two faces of the world. So stop. I mean, if you really want to get out of the whole dramatic performance, just surrender to Krishna completely and engage in devotional service. Then you play your real role, or you act in your real identity. But right now we're somehow between these two roles. Like that.
Sure. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
But if you identify with the material role as being you, then that's the illusion, and that's the entanglement.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Really good question.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, thank you.
Rajajana Priya Mataji.
Krishna Guru Maharaj and devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. I'm so happy to be here again. It's like being very close every day. Thank you very much. I was thinking about last days. An idea came to my mind because in words I could say I don't trust my mind, but then because you see sometimes I find myself thinking about something that I am sure that it is that way or not, and I discovered it's not like that at all. So I think my mind, I cannot trust my mind. When I refer to my mind, I am a little bit confused about this. I don't know if it's really that I don't trust my mind or I don't trust my false ego. So that is the question. Which are the differences? If you can help me with a simple idea of the differences between the mind and the false ego, and how can I arrive to the point that they can be serving Krishna consciousness, to be more consciousness.
Okay, so false ego means anything that we identify in a material sense as within two categories. One is the I category, and the other one is the mind category. So as soon as you say I am, this is, I am this is mine, these are all indications of the false ego. Real ego is Jiva Sarupai Krishna Nichidas. And so our real identity is our position in relationship to Krishna, which is eternal servant. So we are eternal servant of the Lord. That is our actual real identity. And then that real identity expands itself into detail when we become self-realized. We understand who we are in the spiritual world, what is our activities in the spiritual world. We also we actually understand all of the qualities that we have in our spiritual form, our spiritual activities. These are all real ego. Real means eternal. False means temporary. So everything in this world that we identify with or connect with is part of the false ego. Now, the mind is the composite of all desires. which facilitates the desire, the identities of the false ego. So the mind will express itself as being man, woman, or member of this particular culture, a member of this particular community. All of the possessions that I have within my life, they belong to me. That's the mind conception. So nothing belongs to us in this world. Everything has been given to us for use. That's all. It's not, we don't belong. If it was actually ours, then when we leave, we could take it with us, but we can't take it with us. We have to leave it behind because it's not ours in the first place. So the mind just facilitates or you might say the false ego facilitates its identity through the activities of the mind. The false ego facilitates its identity, false identity, through the activities of the mind. So these two people work together, two aspects of ourself. Intelligence is a little separate, although part of the subtle body. Intelligence is the discriminating factor by which we can curb the mind's material activities and connect the mind's activities to the spiritual realm. So the intelligence is what we've tried to develop. The intelligence comes from Krishna. Intelligence comes from scripture. Intelligence comes from guru, like that. So we use spiritual intelligence to purify the mind and to awaken our real ego, our spiritual identity. So if you don't trust your mind, that's good, because that's what Prabhupada would say. Don't trust your mind, because it's more or less connected to all of the activities in this world. Trust the authority. Trust Krishna, trust the spiritual master, trust the perfect authorities. Then you're in a good position. Otherwise, the mind can lead you to hell, and you think you're going in the right direction. It can convince you heaven is hell and hell is heaven. That's a statement made by one transcendentalist. The mind will make a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. So yeah, connect the mind to higher knowledge and connect that higher knowledge to your activities. And that higher knowledge comes from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. These are the gateways to the spiritual realm. Is that too philosophical?
No, Maharaj, is perfect. Thank you very much. I could take notes. They are a mess, but I have homework to do, to order this and to listen again to the video. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Raja, Jana, Priya, Radha.
Thank you for that wonderful name. Thank you very much.
I was wondering who gave you that name. They just told me that was your name, so I gave it to you. They means somebody above this world.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sukava Mataji, please go.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to assembled devotees. Thank you so much for this very, very nice class, Guru Maharaj. In regards to the previous answer you gave to Divya Matadi, is it okay I ask in continuation to that answer? You mentioned, Guru Maharaj, that we have to play our role in this world and as an actor. But how do we control ourselves, like getting involved? Because if we just think that we are just acting, it doesn't feel genuine that we are living our life genuinely. That how to get over that feeling. It,
Well, live your spiritual life. Then you can't live two lives at the same time. You have to live one of them. So draw back from the material and focus on the spiritual. So Prabhupada teaches, or actually it's not Prabhupada, Prabhupada says it, but Lord Chaitanya teaches how to live in this world in spiritual consciousness. And he uses the analogy. A wife, and she's a very nice wife, and she has a husband. And but at the same time, her heart is with her lover. She has a lover along with the husband. Her husband doesn't know about her lover, but her lover is more dear to her than her husband. But as a chaste wife, at least chaste in her duties, she does her duties nicely to her husband, so he doesn't suspect her other love, her real love. But in her mind, in her heart, she's always thinking, when can I go and be with my lover? So Lord Chaitanya taught that. He says, do your duties nicely, but keep your heart and mind in the spiritual world. Now, that's not easy. I didn't say it was easy.
very difficult.
But when you get to the point where you can't take it anymore, then you just throw all this other stuff away and you run to Krishna, say, I'm yours, forget it. So that's the idea. So, but in the meantime, we play this role because I mean, you're a wife, you have a husband, you have children, so there's some duty that you have to do, and you can also develop affection for the people you are associating with and serving, because you see them not so much as your family members, but you see them as Krishna's parts and parcel.
Mm.
They're spirit souls. They're not simply the body that they inhabit. They are pure souls, as you're a pure soul also. So you can serve them in that mood. So you serve your children, you serve your husband as being very dear to Krishna.
Mm.
And they are. They are all souls are very dear to Krishna.
Mm. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
It helps a little.
It does help a lot. No, it does help a lot. Like, yeah, it does.
Yeah. When you get tired of playing the role, then
Just waiting for that moment now. Yeah. Thank you.
if you follow the path, the moment is just waiting for you to get there. That's all. Krishna, I can't live anymore without you. There's no way. If I can't have you, I'm going to simply die. When you actually come to that level of consciousness, then that qualifies you to go back to the spiritual world.
Mm.
But it's a gradual process.
Mm.
If we continue to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, we always feel happy in our spiritual practice. And so instead of worrying about that, you can just throw everything I just said away and just adopt this next statement. is that just share Krishna consciousness with as many people as you can. And that way you can live with Krishna in the mood of his dutiful servant who's bringing others to him. You become very dear to Krishna. At the same time, you do his work in the world of bringing other souls to him. That's better than trying to run away and try to run to the spiritual world.
Yeah, I'm trying that one at the moment, but sometimes it is very difficult to convince people to, I remember your instruction of starting Harinam and Kirtan and, day at least weekly, but people are ready to come. I don't know how to convince.
Just talk to them sometimes. Why you come to your friends, say, why are you wasting time in this material world? Just chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it is after so much of effort, they only join Zoom calls. But, coming personally, doing kirtan, I don't know why it is not coming into people that, no, we should do this. I don't know.
Sometimes you have to expand your activities into another area where people don't know you so much.
Could be that, yeah.
Maybe. Then you become more effective.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that tip. We'll try that now.
Yeah, you can do it.
Thank you very much. Your mercy.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Even I have a follow-up with the for Sukava Mataji's question. Like as you were saying, so we have to accept the role which we are in and then do our best in Krishna consciousness. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, don't identify with the role.
Okay.
That's false ego. That's illusion. If you think you're a woman, then, you'll identify yourself in that way. But the world sees you in that way. And so you act according to that body you have, as far as the principles of living in this world is concerned. But you should know you're different than that body. You're not that body. In one life we're a man, another life we're a woman, another life we're a Gandharva, another life we're a Rakshasa. So we can be so many different things, and each life is a chapter in a big book called the story of life. As we conclude one chapter, we open up another chapter, which is different than the previous one. The chapters are not are sequential only up to a certain part. The activities remain somewhat similar, but the material identities change.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I tell you to throw everything away and just give up all material activities, you can't do it, nor is it maybe practical. The best thing is to stay where you are, and execute your devotional service to the best of your capacity. There's a beautiful verse spoken by Lord Chaitanya. I can't remember. If you go to Madhya Lila, chapter 8, talks between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. This is a fundamental statement that gives you a real insight of how to act. So find where in that chapter where the discussion starts. It may start down the page somewhere. Keep going. It's going to be down a lot farther down. Oh, okay. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going. It'll be down. This is a long chapter. Okay, keep going. Okay, I wish to hear from you about Lord Krishna. My mind is inclined. Okay, keep going. Just keep going, chapter 8. Okay, well, whoop, come back. So here the discussion starts here. Says here, starts in verse number 58. And then Lord Chaitanya asked Rama, said, recite a verse from the concerning the ultimate goal of life. So Ramananda's Roy is reciting verses and the Lord's rejecting him, telling him to go higher. This is external, this is external, keep going. So go down the page. Okay. Keep going. These are all, this is really instructive for devotees alone. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, maybe we passed it up. Let's see. Keep going. Go back up, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Lord Chaitanya said, let's see. Right there, it's that 67.
You
Okay.
want to go into the verse, Maharaj?
Yeah, I think that one is. Go ahead. Open it up, yeah. I think it is. Those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal, therefore banish, should hear from self about your holy name form path. They should completely follow. Okay. Keep going down. Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure where that verse is. It's a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam that's being recited by Ramananda Roy. Keep going. I think we passed it, but I can't identify it simply by these translations. Keep going. Yeah, we went way beyond it. Okay. Yeah, go before 67. It's worth. Okay, wait a minute. Go. I think I saw it. Go down a little. Occupational describes.
62.
62, Maharaj.
Let's see. It's somewhere. I don't know. It must be in the. It must be in the purport. Lord Chaitanya said, "Oh, this is very good, but speak further." Lord Chaitanya, when he says this is external, we're at the very beginning. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. This could take a while, so I don't. It's inside somewhere in this discussion here.
Yes, Maharaj.
It's farther down. keep going down the page. Yeah, slowly. If you go
Text
too fast,
92 has got Bhagavatam reference in it.
huh?
Text 92, I saw some reference from Srimad Bhagavatam was there.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go to 92 then. I don't think it's that far down, but anyway. No, that's Madhurya. No, it's before the rasas. That's I know. Yeah. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, look for Lord Chaitanya's statement. This is very good.
Maybe from 76.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Stop here.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, keep going up the page. Yeah, go farther. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the verse, number 70. I think it's
You want to read the verse, Maharaj?
no, read the translation.
Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness cannot be had even by pious activity in hundreds and thousands of lives. It can be attained only by paying one price, that is, intense greed to obtain it. If it is available somewhere, one must purchase it without delay.
That's not it either. Go up the page a little bit more. I think it goes even before then. Oh, slow down. Yeah. No, I can't find it. I don't know. That one should be situated in one's occupational duty and serve the Lord from that perspective. The Lord said, "This is very good." Now let's see. Okay, keep going up. Maybe it's up farther. I don't know. No, now we're going outside of the discussion.
This is where the discussion started.
Yeah.
56.
Yeah. Okay.
What about 61, Maharaj?
No. 62, right around this area. Keep going, 64. '67 seems to be something like it. I don't know.
We went into it. It's only translation. There is no purport in that, Maharaj.
Yeah. Keep going down 69 as long as there's. Yeah, I somehow I can't find it. Anyway, I remember the verse, part of it.
You remember the verse text thing, Maharaj? I can search it up like that with that.
I think Lord Brahma speaks that verse. If you go to the 10th chapter, 10th canto, 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 10:14. It's an interesting verse because, yeah, 10:14. Let's see. Okay, yeah, not 10:14, but 10:14 is the 14's the chapter.
Oh, you mean Bhagavatam? Sorry.
Yeah, Bhagavatam 10:14. Okay, prayers by Lord Brahma. Okay, goes down. I think it's verse number 5. Let's see. Oh, let's see. No, go up the page. Yeah, let's see.
This one, fourth one,
Number 3.
number 3. Okay.
This is the verse I'm looking for, yeah. Jnana prayasam. Oh, yeah, Jnana prayasam upasanam tamaeva jivanti samukaritam bhavadiya bhavartam. Stana stita srutagatam tanovan manobirya prayasa jita pyasi traistri lokam. Those who, while remaining situated in an established social position, throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with their body, minds, and words offer all respects to your descriptions of your personality of activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotee, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the 3 worlds. That one came up in that discussion with the Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. So this is the verse, yeah. Stay in your social position, throw away all of these ideas about speculative knowledge, and then and get involved in describing the activities of the Lord. Then you can conquer the Lord even from that position of material position.
Thank you so much.
You can read the first purport, first paragraph, I mean.
Yes. Here the word udapasya clearly indicates that one should not even slightly endeavor to understand the absolute truth by the process of mental speculation, for it invariably carries one to an imperfect, impersonal understanding of God. The word Jivanti indicates that a devotee who always hears about Lord Krishna will go back home, back to Godhead, even if he can do nothing except maintain his existence and hear topics concerning the Lord.
There you go, right there. That's it.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'll read the whole purport.
Yeah, this is a very important verse. You can study it, read it like that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry it took so long on that one. I'm sure it's in the discussion with Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya, but it must be hidden in a purport.
It's 57th verse that is in the purport. Ramananda replied, if one executes the prescribed duties of his social position, he awakens his original Krishna consciousness. It's in purport.
Yeah. That's a shortened version of that verse. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Gauri. So yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Devotees, any more questions?
So you don't have to give up your social position. Just absorb yourself in hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. So
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. So I don't see any more questions, Maharaj. We are almost 1.5 hours. Rasavilasni Mataji. Maharaj, is it okay? Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Rasavilasni Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Chila Prabhupada, all glories to great and assembled devotees. So, Maharaj, as you were speaking about the easy journey to other planets, that story, Prabhupada's story. So, like, I had a question. If, like, someone desired to keep traveling to other planets and preaching, just like Narada Muni, who visits every planet, even Golok Vrindavan, then if that person follow a spiritual life, is it possible for them to attain a spiritual form like Narada Muni?
Well, I don't think you can do that unless you have a spiritual form. You can't enter into the spiritual world with a material form, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah. If you want to follow in the footsteps of Narada Muni, then you can worship Narada Muni, hear about him, and try to develop the qualities of Narada. You can't do the activities, but you can try to aspire for his qualities. Activities will come when you are perfect.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay. There you go. Okay, we can conclude our program here. What is the verse for tomorrow?
Yes, Maharaj. Tomorrow's class is with Harrisburg devotees and verses Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, 5th chapter, 42 to 51.
5:42 and 51.
Yes, Maharaj. And it's on the same time, 12 p.m. UK time.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good. On the weekend, I'm not available.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. I'm
But,
attending speakers.
yeah. We'll be back on Monday, though. Monday and Tuesday, we should be okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we'll see you all tomorrow along with the Harrisburg group.
Yeah.
Or some activities of Lord Nityananda and the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes.
5:42 to 51.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class and nice discussion. We'll end the call here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much.
If devotees want to chat, you can chat.
Yes, Maharaj. I have to go, but if anybody wants to take over the call, they can.
Okay. Work it out if you can.
I can do it, Srimati. I'm here with Revati.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll make you host.
Okay, do me a favor. I'll have to run upstairs and join via my laptop because I don't think she has DT pictures.
Okay.